Louisville needs more black-owned businesses. We're in an equity crisis. 2% of businesses in Louisville are black-owned, yet 22% of the population is black. We're working hard to close that gap and make Louisville a top-tier city. Our team created 2 to 22 to mind this gap. We spoke with entrepreneurs, community groups, government folks, in an effort to figure out what was really needed to have an impact on what we saw as something that needed to be changed quickly. We combine high tech with high touch in order to produce results. On our path to figure out how to positively impact this situation, we spoke with One West, we spoke with Amplify Louisville, we talked with GLI, A Path Forward, Buy Black Louisville, JEDI, the Louisville Urban League, so many different community members in order to identify how can we really close this gap? What was it that the community needed? We started with the idea of creating a fund to fund black-owned businesses. We found out quickly that there were many others trying to do that work. But what we heard over and over and over again was the need for black mentorship for black entrepreneurs. We spoke with several community entrepreneurs in order to determine what was the key to their success. And again, we heard mentoring and that connector that guided them through the stages of their company. Let's hear some of their stories now.
I've had a lot of connectors over the course of 20 years.
I'm so fortunate to have had a number of mentors and connectors in my life over the years from all different backgrounds.
For me, it's been less about the one connector and more about the many kind of godsend connectors that have propelled my journey forward.
But one that stands out as pivotal, a crucial moment in time for us was probably 2007, 2008. I was at a point where I had to make a decision whether to close our doors or moving forward and do something else.
I'm going to quickly talk about two people that have been instrumental to our success of the company so far. That's Audwin Helton and Chris Redd. Audwin introduced us to Pedro Bryant, who introduced us to Ryan Benjamin, and that was a huge introduction for us.
In some cases, it'll be a connector that I met randomly at a lunch, and 5 years later, I get a LinkedIn message from a funder or a partner that says, hey, so-and-so said I should reach out to you.
When I think of one that really stands out to me, a gentleman by the name of Steve Huey, who is a serial entrepreneur, he's an investor, and a great mentor.
And Mark Brashes, who at the time worked for GLI as their marketing director, really took it upon himself and put my business on his back and had the faith, enough faith in us to put a contract on the table for us to actually sustain our business through a really tough period.
Chris is someone who knows everybody in the city and beyond.
But he's one of the first investors in Superfan, and as I was getting my feet wet and trying to raise capital from, quite frankly, especially here in the Louisville community, from folks that didn't look like me, he provided me a lot of confidence and security in knowing that folks weren't investing in me per se and what I look like, as much as my ability and the capacity and the talent and the skill that I brought to the table to grow a successful company and hopefully get a return on their investment.
It was that contract and that faith from that one particular ally, and bigger than an ally, friend, that put us in a position to be here today.
Without those two individuals, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you.
So I'm always grateful for that moment.
So thank you, Steve Huey.
Thank you, Mr. Helton, and thank you, Mr. Redd, for everything that you've done for us. We very, very much appreciate it.
In designing the 2 to 22 program, we had several key tenets that we paid attention to. First, we wanted it to be community-led. Specifically, we wanted the operation to be run under a black leader in our community. We also wanted it to be sustainable. We knew we wanted to create something that would go on for years and years into the future, and we created a program that will allow for that. We also wanted to engage a support ecosystem of interested parties in our community that are going to support the effort of the 2 to 22 program as we move forward in the years to come.
So what does 2 to 22 do? 2 to 22 is an online platform that's centered around finding the right match. While this chart might look complicated, it's really quite simple. We want to combine high tech with high touch. So an entrepreneur comes into the system, enters their needs and wants for their business idea. Within the platform, it finds the right match, finds the right person or people or organization that can help them navigate through the entrepreneurial landscape. While the platform is backed by Salesforce and housed within Amplify, the Navigator is really the key to unlocking success. The Navigator facilitates meaningful relationships between the entrepreneur and their mentor. And the 2 to 22 platform's functionality includes follow-up and evaluation to ensure that the mentor and the mentee's needs are met. So let's talk a little bit more about the Navigator. We realize that a tech-only solution is not sufficient to truly move the needle. So 2 to 22 wanted to find a partner to sit in the center and be the Navigator. To start, 2 to 22 found its first partner in the Black Business Association, led by Tanika Bryant. So let's give a real-life example. So in this example, we connected this restaurant owner with legal support, real estate support with someone like our own teammate, Bill Whalen, and then other secondary partners like Louisville Forward to really help this business get off the ground. That's the magic of 2 to 22. So our first partner with 2 to 22 is the Black Business Association. Tanika Bryant has built a very strong network within the community in a relatively short amount of time. We shared 2 to 22 with Tanika. She's thrilled about what 2 to 22 can bring to the Black Business Association. Let's hear from Tanika.
Hi, my name is Tanika. I am the Executive Director of the Black Business Association and the founder of Buy Black Lou. We have a network of roughly 30,000 members in Louisville alone. So with that, when I heard about the 2 to 22 project, as you see from the smile, I was so excited. I was like, this is so dope. This is dope, guys. This is exactly what we need. You know, when I talk to the thousands of entrepreneurs that I represent, you know, and I ask them, like, what is it that you need? It was like, we need money, we need representation, and we need mentorship and back office support. So this is timely. It's going to be so impactful. It is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to let my network know that one of the most important things that you need and you have been asking me for is finally here. So I am just thrilled. I am extremely proud to be part of this impactful movement that we're about to create with the 2 to 22. So thank you for even thinking of us. Thank you for thinking of this project. Thank you for including us. And I cannot wait to get to work on this project. Thank you so much.
So let's talk about Bingham Fellows and our 2 to 22 team. Our first step was to design the technology platform. Eric Bickle and Ben Reno Weber worked to build the tool and house it within Amplify. Our next step is to build the ecosystem. We are well underway with many organizations to build both the mentors and to source mentees. We're also forming relationships with many professional services organizations within our community who are willing to provide pro bono services to our mentees. Finally, we want to ensure that this program is sustainable. Our team members, Bill Whalen and Scott Collins, are hitting the street talking to many organizations within our community to fund this project with a goal of raising $100,000 in the first year.
We're excited about the impact that 2 to 22 is going to have on our community. A few of the outcomes that we'll be measuring are the number of mentor and mentee relationships. We'll also be measuring the quality of those relationships. We'll be looking at follow-up successes with mentors and mentees. We'll be looking at the number of businesses that get connected to mentors and professional service organizations.
In closing, we have the power and resources to make a true impact in our community.
This is going to support the efforts to fund Black-owned businesses, to grow Black-owned businesses, and to mind that gap of 2% to 22%.
This is how Louisville becomes a top-tier city.